With Liquor Barn, you can shop your favorite bourbon, that perfect bottle of wine, or discover something new. To place an order for pickup or delivery, download the Liquor Barn app, visit liquorbarn.com, or call your nearest Liquor Barn location. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our email list for all the latest news on products, promotions, and events. Liquor Barn, where Kentuckians go to celebrate life. Cheers!
Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here live tonight in the Bourbon Life Studios, it is, 4/5 of the Bourbon Life crew. I've got Chad.
What?
I've got Matt.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And we got Philip.
Hey, happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you guys back. It's been a hot minute since we sat down and actually did one of these, and we decided not to invite Stacy. Okay, that's a lie. Stacy couldn't.
I wondered why she wasn't in the group chat anymore.
You wonder why it dropped down from 5 to 4. Well, you know, some things change over time. No, I'm just kidding. Stacy's still part of the crew, but she's unavoidably detained with family matters this evening, I think. So I'm happy you guys were able to show up. So we were going to do this last night and had some schedule changes. So appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out tonight. How you guys been doing, Chad?
Good. Busy. New job. I'm not working any less, but you know what? I'm off like almost every weekend for the whole weekend.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the new job yet?
Yeah,
or?
I can talk about the new job.
Yeah,
I'll probably be the guy. If you ever want to have an interview, you can interview me.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go. We'll come back and we'll talk. We will talk about that because that'll be a good topic. You know, we can throw that in there. At least it'll fill some time.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to have, we never have any issue filling time on this show and we all get around and start jawing.
I mean, you know, it may be boring.
Mark's always like, how are we going to do this? And it's just like,
yeah.
I
Matt,
didn't make any notes. What are we going to do?
I, you know what? When you guys are here, I don't make notes. I don't even waste time. I don't even think about notes.
We aren't even worth your printer ink.
I'm like, nope.
We're not worth the toner.
Shout out to my neighbor Byron, but he said that these are his favorite episodes to listen to. So,
all right.
Yeah,
What's up, Byron?
Thank you for mowing Byron's lawn and getting him to say that.
Yes. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
We all owe him $20.
Yeah.
Let's see.
yeah, Philip even edged the sidewalk. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, man. All right.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thanks to you jerks canceling, I actually had to mow my lawn last night. Here, I thought we were going to be recording the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Hey, let's be honest. We're having a good time tonight.
We are.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. But here, I was getting ready to come record the podcast last night, thinking like, all right, the lawn's looking pretty shaggy. If I'm gone recording the podcast, Sarah will definitely mow the
she'll mow it
lawn,
for you,
and then
right?
I will be off of the hook because I was gone.
Oh, man.
She'll take care of the lawn. No.
But didn't you say she's allergic to grass?
Yeah.
And you're
so,
going to
like,
make your girlfriend mow the grass?
I double suffer because I get the guilt trip and then she sneezes all night long.
Oh, man. Oh,
So-
awful.
What if she's not allergic?
Anyway, Matt, so how are you doing, though? You doing
Mark,
all right?
I'm doing great. And it's good to be back. Good to be back with the crew. Gosh, we missed these episodes.
Yeah. It's fun sitting around the flights of the rectangular table.
Yeah, we've had a good run though of shows recently. So it's
we have.
nice to sit back and
Don't mess with that.
have something super informal.
Yeah, he's messing with the new Nomano, man. Nobody touches it but me, all right?
That's right. Only Gizmo gets to Gizmo.
That's right. Yes, we have had some great guests, even though somebody forgot to hit record on a couple of projects that we've done. But that's okay. Not tonight, man. We got everything going. Philip, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's been a while, but it's good to be back.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks for dressing to impress, Brian.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
I'm
like
waiting
that.
to see what's underneath. There's
Oh no,
never-
this is it.
That's it?
This was my
Wow.
$2
Yeah.
Walmart find.
On video, man.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
awesome.
right. Yeah, this was. I
dig
wore this
that.
to the Post Malone concert Sunday.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, I'm on staycation this week, man. I just decided to take the week off work. I had like 3 weeks of vacation and haven't taken a vacation from this new job that I've had for a year and a half, and just decided I need a few days off. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So tonight I'm gonna get drunk.
I was gonna say we haven't been here for 2 months, so he was prepping.
That's right. I'm ready to get drunk. But anyway, talking about drinking, Philip, you brought the first round, man. What'd you bring for us?
So we are pouring up the Longbranch Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey from Wild Turkey, oak and Texas Mesquite charcoal refined.
That beautiful bottle everybody can see there.
It's 43% alcohol by volume.
So it's a lightweight, but
Like, what is that, like 85?
That's a lightweight.
86 proof. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought this. This is something I've never had before.
Yeah,
and
I've never had it either.
Wow,
completely-
three of the 4 people here have never had it.
Well, it's completely
I've
flown
never-
off
I've
my
had it.
radar.
Okay.
That's what 3 of the 4 have never had it.
okay. Well, I didn't know if you're talking about yourself too. I didn't know if you knew. Oh, I guess I said that. Yeah. I've never had it. Okay. Like Chad
See,
said,
Mark,
3 of the 4.
we actually pay attention when you're talking.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 have not had it. Good point, Chad. So, but you had it for your old job, I'm assuming, or at your old, or just.
No, I mean I had it before I worked in a retail store.
I got you. All right. So, who wants to go first? Philip, what do you nose on this, man? You brought. You've never had it though, right?
No, I've never had it.
So you picked this up. You just said, "Hey, man, I'm just gonna."
Yeah, I literally grabbed it on the way here.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That's how we need to start doing
So
it every
yeah,
time.
and anybody that lives around the Central Kentucky area, check your Kroger coupons. You get $10 off.
$10
Is
off.
it a Christmas pick?
No, it was just
Well, thank you, Chris,
Yeah.
for $10 off. We appreciate that.
for sure.
There you go, man.
Yeah, so that's why I grabbed it. I was like, I'll try it.
Very nice. Yeah, for $10 bucks.
Yeah,
off.
I think it was $30 after tax and everything. So
Well,
Oh hell yeah!
That's not bad. I mean, not bad. Well, it depends on how it tastes. Because
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out if it's a deal or not. What do you? I noticed as you're nosing it, man, it's like super light in the glass,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, it's very
8-year-old liquid.
yeah.
It's 8 years.
The labels used to say 8. It doesn't say anymore.
Well, yeah, they took it off there, but then they were putting all the neck tags on there. It said aged 8 years, which I mean, I don't know. It is awfully light. I've not had it in a while, so
But it's proof down to 86 too, right?
true.
Yeah.
And
So,
it is mesquite charcoal filtered, so I mean that's gonna
yeah.
do a little work.
Well, I guess I should. Yeah, Philip. I guess you could talk about before we jump into the nose. I
that's
didn't even talk about the pour. Talk about it, what it is, so people understand what Longbranch.
So it
actually is.
was the project with Matthew McConaughey and Wild Turkey. This was where it all originated from to meld Kentucky and Texas, I guess. But his name's off the label and he's not involved anymore.
He's gone. He was the creative director.
He was creative director.
Creative director for
Yeah.
Wild Turkey. So, but gone. No more. Name off the
Not
bottle.
really good creative director. He only did one product. I mean,
But now he came into town and like distributed turkeys,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah,
that was
for
kind of
Thanksgiving,
for Thanksgiving.
yeah.
They made a big deal out of that. So
He did some commercials. And,
Yeah. So
he was in a Lincoln driving by himself.
So I definitely get a little bit of that mesquite on the nose, but not. It's to me, it's kind of light.
gotcha.
It's not real prevalent. There's pretty good caramel there, so it could be that it's 8 years old.
I haven't had like turkey or like Russell's Reserve or Wild Turkey or anything like that. But Chad, what do you think? You're kind of a turkey guy, man.
I love me some turkey.
So does this have the profile?
Kind of sort of on the nose.
That's kind of what I was like, I haven't had it in a while, so maybe it's just my thought process is saying that it does. But
Do we know? Is this a typical Wild Turkey mash bill? Or
Yeah, same mash bill.
Yeah.
same
same
mash
mash
bill,
bill,
just
just-
like everything. Just
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On the nose, I pick up the mesquite. I mean, it's more of just like a charry, oaky, like musty. There's not like a I don't know. I mean, I'm not a wood expert. I don't have a smoker. I don't have a grill. I live in an apartment, and so like I can't tell you what mesquite is. I eat
Right.
Lay's barbecue chips. That's about as mesquite as I get. But it's got like that hickory or cedar, like a woodsiness,
Yeah.
mustiness on the nose. It does have a nice caramel to it. A little floral and like a white pepper coming through, but it's kind of flat. It's very light, honey. I mean, nothing crazy, but
I mean,
fine,
but
fine,
not.
yeah.
It's not something. It's not off-putting. I mean, it's not.
no,
like,
it's
oh
not
my God.
off-putting, and it's definitely different than your standard turkey.
Yes.
You get the essence of it, which means I think that's a good. If you're finishing, filtering, whatever you're doing, you need to always have like that base layer still shine through.
Yeah, which I think, at least for me on the nose, it seems like it's coming through. Matt, what do you think? What do you pick up?
Yeah, it's got a sweetness that I pick up right on the nose. Like right away, there's a honey sweetness. I almost get like some sort of like a licorice like red licorice, but not as strong as like a Twizzler. But there's like that sweetness, a little bit of cherry.
Yeah.
And then I also get like an ashy firewood.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's
Kinda
that
like-
mesquite.
Yeah, with the like you think of like the smell of coals, like post
After a fire.
burn. Yeah, like not that campfire woodsy smell, but kind of like the aftermath, like
Yeah.
a little bit of cigar ash,
Gotcha.
campfire type note.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I can't really add much to that, but I do get that smokiness. And mesquite, I think, to me, mesquite has really more of a bite to it than, you know, like hickory almost has this nice, pleasant sweetness almost to it.
Yeah.
But mesquite, like when I've smoked pork shoulder or something with mesquite wood, it seems like that smokiness is almost more, I don't want to say pungent, it just seems sharper.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of a
Bite
of a
to it,
bite
right?
to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
kind of my
And
thought.
I guess maybe that's because I think mesquite is kind of like the popular barbecue
Yeah,
wood
for Texas,
in
right?
Texas. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Which makes sense. So
which is definitely there, but it's not overpowering. Which I mean, when I bought it, I was like, okay, what's got something to do with Texas? So I was expecting something closer to having an impact like a Texas bourbon type,
Right.
You know, but it's definitely nothing like that.
No, I still think, at least on the nose, those characteristics of turkey come through. But like you guys said, you get that kind of ashen, like Matt said, kind of that coal, the charcoal kind of flavor. And this is processed like a Lincoln County process, but they just run it through the mesquite charcoal versus running it through the sugar maple like they do for Jack or Old Ezra 7 or whatever other brands are doing that Lincoln County process, right? So guys, topics. What's going on, man? Chad, let's talk about your job, man. That's a good topic to talk about.
Let's talk about me.
Yeah, let's talk about Chad.
Wanna talk
Let's
about
talk
me?
about Chad, baby.
I was going to say, I want to talk about me. Want to talk about I.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask me a question.
Tell everybody what you're doing, man.
I am the operations manager / single barrel manager for Rare Character Whiskey Co. Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Can we
that's
get
awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is. That's awesome.
That's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I
That
know
is awesome.
you've been doing some stuff with them, and now it's like all official. So,
Yeah.
so that's cool. And you just, I know you're crazy busy with them, man, because they seem to be doing a lot of
Man,
stuff.
here lately, yeah, that's all I've been seeing is posts about rare characters. So
Tons.
yeah,
It's,
it's really taken off.
there's like, and to anyone who listens who may have a barrel with us and that has not received it yet, it could, I mean, there's a huge, I mean, it's like, we're working like an 8-9 month backlog right now. So, I mean, like people who bought barrels a year ago are just now getting them. So getting stuff from the previous, because they were bottling at a facility. It's about an hour away. Now they're bottling here in Lexington, Kentucky, over at Leestown, with a company called Divine. And Divine has been great. I am there. That's where I base myself out of, is Divine. So I'm there every day. I'm working with them directly, making sure that, the bottles look right, the writing's right, the wax is right,
Yeah.
label's straight, whatever. And I'm kind of helping their warehouse guy oversee the barrels, because he's more or less like, his job is like, did we receive the correct stuff? Is it right? Yes. And I'm the stickler who's like, okay, now go through it with me,
Right,
whatever. But I mean, it's been fun. So it's, I'm not working any less than my previous job. I'm probably working the same amount or more, but it's every day, 8, 9 a.m. till about 7, 8 every night. And I love it. It's fun. It's great. I mean, it's honestly, I mean, there are some drawbacks to it, and mostly that I'm back to sending a lot of emails again and phone calls and conference calls and stuff, which I thought I got away from when I left Walmart, but it comes with the pleasure of, I'm surrounded by barrels all day, and I pretty much have
man.
like the perfect playground.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Which is really cool because, for doing the podcast, I mean, you worked in retail in the liquor industry. So you were in the industry, but you were in a totally different environment. And I know that was a super stressful environment for you to be in. And this one, I'm sure there's a lot of stress that goes with it as well. But like you said, I mean, you're around barrels. This is what we love. So this is a passion.
Yeah.
But now it's like you get to enjoy your passion as what you're doing for a income and a living, right?
And it's a difference. Like, I liked retail. I've been doing retail. I'll be 32 this year. So I started retail when I was 15. So like, retail is like a comfort job. Like, I like talking to people. I like talking in general, especially something I'm passionate about. It's, going from like Walmart to, I've worked for a lot of big retailers, but then like ending up at my previous retailer and working for them, on the alcohol beverage portion of it was fine, but it was still retail. You know, at the end of the day, like, it's cool. I could go in there and talk about bourbon and tequila and gin and all the stuff I really enjoy, but I'm still working retail. And it was just a comfort thing. I was good at it. I could do it. So I did it. But I took the leap and got into the first tier of the 3-tier system now. And it was wild. Girlfriend was scared. I was scared. I was like, I hope this pans out. I hope this is all serious and that they actually need the work. Turns out they do. So yeah, there's 8-month backlog of work to do, plus everything we have going in the future. So there's never going to be a shortage of me.
And like Philip said, I mean, you know, you get on social media, there's rare character stuff all over the place. And I was just talking about that today, talking with you about Gil, the guy at Whiskey Vegas. Yeah, he was one of the judges for that International Whisky Competition. That's the first time I'd met him. But, you know, he posted something on Instagram yesterday or day before. It was just a huge shelf of rare characters. You know,
I saw that.
Yeah, he's got two 5-foot
isn't that crazy?
shelves, or like 6-foot tall shelves or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. Gil wants to have the largest, and I've been, even before I worked for a character, I was telling Pablo, my boss, I was like, this is like, I'm not going to compare it to Willet because I don't want people to think like I'm demoralizing one or the other. But there are people who are, I mean, any brand, I guess, whether it be Buffalo Trace or Heaven, people who go nuts over one thing. But I've noticed a lot of people, because I've been into the brand for a while, for a couple of years now, and I've been trying to tell people about the brand. Yeah, it's not cheap, looks good, liquid's good, and love the overall packaging. And it's nuts talking to people. Like, there's the Rare Character Clubhouse, and started by a guy named Michael Hertzberg, and he started buying bottles because he's seen me posting about it, and he's like, those are interesting. Well, then now he started a whole Facebook group, and
oh wow, okay,
like they've done barrel picks and they've got them, and it's a few thousand people deep at this point. I don't know on Facebook, but it's a few thousand people deep at this point. I think of just for it's nuts.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome though, man. So it's a great brand. It's up and coming, obviously, and like Gil said, I mean, you know, yesterday when he posted that picture, he was like, "This is one of the quickest growing brands. It's up and coming. It's this is something you need to pay attention to." And I know you've been bringing bottles here, to share with us for quite a while.
Yeah, anything we've tasted has been phenomenal too. So yeah.
I can't take credit for those, but I will take credit for everything else.
Matt, you're a fan, right?
Yeah.
Of the rare characters stuff.
Yeah, I
right?
am. They have access to a lot of really great barrels, a lot of kind of unique mash bills, and some of the things that are just sort of coming online and coming up and coming also within the bourbon industry.
Right.
And it's nice to see something else besides a lot of the source product that we're used to seeing, and also seeing different finishes, different experimental projects.
Was that? Did I get that bottle? Was that a bottle in Nashville that I got for you?
It sure was.
Was that rare character?
That was rare character.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah,
What did it get you?
I forget. Do you remember from Last Chance Liquors?
Last Chance
Oh,
Liquors.
are you kidding me?
They have a Kentucky 95.
Oh, I know he does. I know. Yeah, I know.
So I got a bottle of that.
That's Seth. So whenever we went to Nashville, Pablo was telling me, you need to swing by and see Seth and because he did a malt as well. So he had like a 14.5-year-old 65-35 exceptional malt.
Why did you buy me that?
And
he didn't have it there.
Like
that was the only pick.
Well, yeah, that sold out. It was like $300 or $400 bucks. But the rye, so he messaged, he's like, "Hey, I can get you these to you shipped." Well, he texted me on like my drive home, and then I just like never responded. And I was like, "Well, it's probably sold out by now."
Well, he texted me because I was down visiting my niece and sister-in-law with my wife, and he's like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?
Well, if you go back anytime soon, grab me one."
Just grab one." Yeah, no worries. Well, cool, man. Congratulations, Chad. I mean, that's awesome. I'm glad to see that you're in there and doing it, because I know you've been doing some work with them, kind of contract style for a while.
And I hate talking about myself. I more or less have more fun talking about the job.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's fun. It is, and this is, I've talked to my family and stuff, and I was like, it's one of those things where it's just like, I got out of my comfort zone, took a leap. They took a big chance on me, a guy who has no experience in like that portion of the industry. So that's a big leap of faith for them as well.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for them to do that. And then especially just to let me just like dive head first and just kind of, because there's a lot of logistical stuff going on, and there's a lot of things you just never really realize with the industry, which you've dealt with.
Yeah.
But it's stuff you don't think about day to day. Like, it's one thing to be worried about something on the retail portion, like pricing or cost or whatever, or licensing, but to be dealing with some of the stuff on this side, and then for them to just kind of like, There's been days where I've just been like F-bomb, I'm out. And like don't talk to me until that's done, and then it works, and I'm like, wow, that's
very cool. Well, man, we'll we should do a show about being in the industry, and we could do it rather than just being a crew show. I mean, because you could talk to that as well.
Oh yeah.
So we should probably do that at some point, Matt.
Yeah, you and I can just shut up the whole time.
We can just sit here and be jealous, right?
We have no experience.
We have no experience.
It
doing
is.
anything.
It's kind of mind blowing, all the different just little intricate things that have to go. It is. It's very difficult, but it's fun. It's always fun work. So it doesn't feel like you're working.
Yeah, it is, and that's like I was saying earlier. And I'm not talking bad about anyone. I don't want this to seem negative. But a lot of people who like reach out to me like, "Where's my barrel?" And a lot, like I was saying earlier to you, a lot of the times distributors are very slow, but there's a lot of moving parts to get that distributor, because someone from California is not just going to hightail it to Kentucky to pick up a pallet and drive it back. Man. So it's crazy. Like at the retail portion, I never really think about that. I never think about until I did my Woodinville pick, and like, we got to ship it from Washington to California, from California to somewhere else, and then I'll make it to Kentucky. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Just like, why can't you just ship it from Washington?
Send it straight here.
Drive it all the way to Kentucky. And they're like, we can't. It's too far.
Yeah.
Another, like, just so people realize, like, just the small stuff that matters. Like, so I know Smoke Wagon, they've started doing like holiday bottles, Christmas, Halloween. Yeah. So they got their bottle shipment of their 4th of July bottles late. Well, they got them sent out on time, but like they were shipped, in June. Well, like the 4th of July bottles haven't come out here yet. Wow. So it's like, that kind of stuff people just don't even realize.
Yeah. Working like last year, it's a perfect example. Last year, people would come into my store and they'd be like, where is this? And then we would get it and the Halloween bottle's out. Well, Halloween bottle's out now. I'm like, well, it's out, 9.5 hours away, but it's not out here yet.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, we're close to the end of round one. Let's jump back over here to the Longbranch. Matt, I'll throw it to you, palate and finish. What'd you think?
Sure thing. It's got a pretty light palate.
Yeah.
There's a sweetness, like honey up front. And I get a fair amount of straw. It's got like a hay straw type taste to it. A little bit of oak, a little bit of wood come through down that touch tannic on the finish, I think, for me. It doesn't have that wild turkey funk that I'm used to. Kind of that earthy, woodsy, kind of natural type tasting that I always get from wild turkey. But not bad.
Yeah. Chad, what about you? What do you think?
Well, for $30, I think it's fine. I would rather spend $30 on Evan Williams single barrel, which is like a $48 bottle now for whatever reason. Brad Williams said it would happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Sad, but true, right?
Yep.
So what do you think?
I like it. It is pretty tannic. I think it's good if you wanted to introduce somebody to something more tannic, that it's still light. You're not going to like a barrel strength or something like that that's got a lot of age. But
I do think it could be like, if this had been like a 92 or 94 proof though, because I mean, they added water and more proof doesn't necessarily take away, but I think the tannins, because it is a little drying, there's like some Heaven Hill-esque essence in there, the florality, the malt, and the honey, but I feel like it needs more proof because it kind of dies off in flavor. There isn't the wild turkey funk. There's no like crazy brown sugar note that I usually get.
Yeah. It's
just kind of flat, and I think it's just a watering problem. Like if it was like 90 plus, it might not be.
It might not. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. For me, I would probably, for a $10 rebate, $30, get it. Yeah. I'd probably use it as a mixer.
I mean, this be like a great, like smoked old fashioned, whiskey sour kind of pour.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that's, not something I'd sit around and drink neat all the time, by any stretch. But like you said, introductory to someone as well. You can talk about the tannins and things and how that affects the taste. But I don't know, man. I mean, I'd buy it, but it would be something probably mixer for me. What do you guys think?
Mixer.
Yeah, probably mixer, or like take to a party.
That's Matthew McConaughey's bourbon.
Yeah, Matt with Matthew McConaughey. Well,
it used to be.
And the way the bottle, it's got the embossed, small batch aged in American oak.
The presentation on it is great.
It's a nice bottle, right?
If you take this to a party, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you spent a lot on that bottle."
Yeah, it looks expensive.
Or they're gonna say, "Oh, Longbranch.
So take it to parties where people don't usually drink
People
bourbon.
that don't drink bourbon, take it there, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's take a quick break. Let's get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute. From our good friends at the Stave comes Lexington's newest hot spot to meet up with friends, have fun, and eat some great food. District 7 Social is a social and beer hall, but it's a lot more than that. Located in Lexington's Distillery District, it's the home of Lexington's first duck pin bowling lanes, and it also features a self-serve beer wall. That's right, self-serve. And if you want more, they've got it. You can try one of their delicious cocktails from the bar or order some great German fusion food from their on-site eatery, Germanish. So what are you waiting for? Be seen, be social. District 7 Social.
The Stave Restaurant is a bourbon lover's paradise right here in the heart of bourbon country. Located at 5711 McCracken Pike in Millville, Kentucky, between Castle and Key and Woodford Reserve, Chef Kyle Klatka prepares amazing food each day that features an elevated Kentucky-inspired cuisine. With a full-service bar, great bourbon flights, and signature cocktails, the Stave is the perfect place to catch up with friends after a fun-filled day of touring the local distilleries. Be sure to check them out online at thestavekentucky.com or at Instagram and Facebook at The Stave Kentucky.
All right, everybody, welcome back for round 2 of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, here around the flights of the rectangular table, and I'm here with my good friends, Chad.
What up?
Matt.
Yeah, it's TBLPC FOTR.
Oh, yes.
We got to cut that out.
Yeah. And Philip.
Bow, bow, bow.
There you go. Philip.
So let's start it off this way, Mark. How are you? How are you doing?
How are you doing,
Hey,
Mark?
man, I'm doing great this week. It's staycation. Had a massage today. It's burger week here in Lexington as well.
Yeah, I found that out yesterday.
I've already killed 2 different burgers, this week. I skipped today just to be healthy.
So, okay, let me ask you this. I've seen where a lot of the burgers are coming from, and I'm quite disappointed with a lot. Like, some people it's just like throw shit on a bun and it's a burger.
Yeah, I have said that as well. I looked at the list and I'm just like, man, somebody just said, hey, you know what? Here's a burger. What do we have? And they look around their kitchen and they're like, we could put this shit on there too. Let's just do that. So some of them are,
There's a lot of it looks like you have to eat with a fork and a knife too. You can't even pick it up and take a bite of it.
There are some. So I've picked the ones that I thought, okay, I'm going to probably enjoy these.
Yeah.
So I did the one from Big City Pizza, which is here in Hamburg. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Anyway, I can't
So their
remember.
burger's better than the pizza. Got it.
Yeah. I think the pizza's good, but the burger was really good. And then I went to Drake's on Leestown because each Drake's here in town has a different burger.
Yeah, I know.
And the one at Leestown was the all bee burger. So it was like a blueberry bourbon barbecue sauce on one of the, because they do the flat burgers,
Yeah.
right? But man, it was really good. I think it had bacon bits or Gouda cheese on it. And the blueberry bourbon barbecue sauce, man. I loved it. I thought it was great. So I skipped today, went to Liquor Barn today. Chicken
Did
sandwich.
you now?
I was going to ask you about those chicken sandwiches. How many did they find up in you in that colonoscopy?
Oh, God. Trust
They
me.
found like 6 chicken sandwiches.
That was awful, dude. But after that prep for the colonoscopy, there's nothing. There's nothing. Nothing. And hey, that's just a friendly reminder for you guys out there that are over 50, get your colonoscopy, right? So,
Or if you have Crohn's.
it's not fun, but you know what? It's always
They give you a
smart.
lollipop at the end, and you just got to make sure they put it in my mouth.
When they were doing that camera, he had a little logo in there. It said Liquor Barn. Where
Eat Liquor
Kentuckians.
Yeah, that's
Kentuckians
right.
come to
Where
ham.
Kentuckians come to eat chicken sandwiches. But I did have a chicken sandwich from Liquor Barn today, which is one of my favorites. So there's a couple more burgers I'm going to try out. There's one that's at Malibu Jack's. They've got a bar inside of Malibu Jack's, which I did not know.
Yeah, but I feel
always-
like going there without an 8-year-old is kind of weird.
No, I feel really
Drinks, go-karts, and
Yeah, all 4 of us go in there. It's like, can we get the burger of the week?
You have to get it to go, so you don't.
I know.
No, bring it out to my car. I'm not allowed in.
It's like, yeah, I can't go within 50 yards of it. No, I'm just kidding. But
Leave it on the edge of the property line.
yeah. So, but I did not take this week off just because it's burger week, but it's kind of serendipitous that it coincided. So I have enjoyed a few burgers. My daughter's coming into town tomorrow, so I'll probably go to Harry's. I think Harry's has one up here that looked pretty good too. So,
Sushi burger?
God.
hey, I like the Harry Sliders.
I do too,
So
man.
their burger probably pretty good.
I agree. All right, guys. So let's talk about what we have poured. But thank you for asking how I'm doing. And we digress like completely. You passed it down to me. I was going to let Matt do it.
Oh, well, he's got
Yeah,
Old
already
Pepper
down here.
Distillery. I'm making sure I'm looking like, okay, you can actually see it, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, right here in town.
That's
Hometown
right.
boys.
That's
right
right,
down the
man.
road.
Old Pepper.
Amir Pay, downtown in the Distillery District on Manchester Street, resurrected the brand, the Old Pepper Distillery. This is their bottled and bond, so this is new.
They have this. They raised some bourbon.
They have a
They do
bourbon.
have a bottled and bond
I
bourbon as well. Yes.
Which they were kind enough. Amir actually reached out and sent the rye and the bourbon. I just picked the rye. Yeah, I didn't get the bourbon's in. It's on a shelf somewhere. I know where it is.
We got to find it.
Yeah, but I got the rye because I know Matt loves
What a guy.
Yeah, I know Matt loves the rye from there. So 100 proof, obviously bottled and bond. I don't know what the age. There's no age.
So
statement.
it says that the batch on there is it says like what, S1 2020 or 2019 on the neck tag.
I'm looking DSP KY5.
Look on the back.
Yeah, batch S 2019.
So
4 years.
yeah,
so it
I
has to be
assume
right.
spring 2019.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're probably
There you
looking
go. Good call, Matt.
4 years.
Nice.
Look at that. Yeah, using that noodle.
Nice.
It's got a nice color for 4 years.
For
Hell
4
yeah,
years,
it does,
yeah,
man. It is great
Yeah,
for 4 years.
and 100 proof, right? So I'll hold it up. I don't know if people can.
And
Wait, I
they're-
gotta get the logo placement too, right? So, should I do? Wait,
They do that on moonshiners.
I should have done it in the official bourbon. Oh yeah, they use my glasses and they don't show
All the
my
time.
logo on there, right? It's like, come on.
Yeah, so they'll do like the half turn, and it's like, oh, it's like you see Pepsi, and they put black tape over a pet, and you just see C, and you're like, oh, it's Pepsi.
Yeah, it's like I know that's a Bourbon Life Glencairn that he's using there on moonshiners, but you're not going to be able to read it.
So their mash bill is 95.5, right? Like I know the stuff to do with Barstown Bourbon and MGP is 95.5.
That I don't remember, Matt. Do you recall?
I don't
Unfortunately.
recall either. When we had Amir on, I think we were drinking sourced
Yeah,
product. I don't remember what
Yeah.
exactly their mash bill was, but
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's 95.5.
Yeah,
Just I feel like I'm trying to remember, and he wanted to like keep it consistent, maybe with what they were able to get their
I wish
hands
I could
on.
remember. I had to go back and listen to that episode. So, but yeah, because we recorded here. He came over and hung out with us, which was really cool. So, all right. So let's talk about what you're picking up, Matt. I started with Philip last time. I'll start with you.
Yeah.
On the nose. What do you get on this one, man?
So when I first poured it up and took a good whiff on it, I was surprised. It smelled a lot more like a bourbon.
Yeah.
Right at
That's about
first.
Yeah.
Before I got to swishing this, like kind of swirling it around and
that's
giving
why I
it
was
some
asking
air.
if it was 95.5 because I was like,
Yeah,
very
maybe.
surprised.
Yeah. But now that it's been in the glass and it's had some more time in the air, I get some notes of mint. There's like spearmint, subtle wintergreen, a sweetness to it, some earthy tones, like kind of a light herb, almost like chive type grassy flavor aroma. A little bit of oak influence, but it's really nice. I really, really like the nose on this. It hits a lot of places I really enjoy.
Gotcha. I'm trying to look up right now what's going on. So, Chad, I'll throw it to you, and I'll keep reading.
Okay. I was just thinking about how to make a joke about Matt saying it hits all the places he enjoys. But, so, like, yeah, first on the nose, I thought it was also very bourbon-esque, like vanilla, brown sugar, toffee, caramel, like very standard notes. And then as it's set here, and I've swirled the hell out of it just to aerate it because it feels very, like, heavy. Like, it feels like the nose has weight to it. I get a lot of tobacco, like just fresh tobacco. Matt said like winter green, mint, that as well. And I was kind of leaning. There's a weird, and I don't want this to sound bad. It's almost like it's like a crisp, clean, almost effervescent note. It's kind of like just like that soap that has no smell but has a smell. Like I don't know what that is. Like I'm getting something that reminds me of that, and it's not bad. I mean, it's like. There's a lot of those heavy notes, but it's also very fresh and inviting to a point. So,
Okay.
But yeah, I like the nose. I'm very excited for this whiskey.
Yeah. What about you, Philip?
Yeah. When I first started nosing it, I was the same as them. I got more of the tobacco kind of barn hay type, and then after it's set, it's definitely a lot more minty, grassy.
Gotcha. All right. So, while you guys have been diligently explaining what you're picking up on the nose, I've been trying to look online to see, found the review that actually it says there's 2 distillates in this. The first is 95.5 and the second is actually 100% malted rye.
Huh.
So it is a rye whiskey, but just a blend of a 95.5, obviously, and then the 100% malted rye as well. So I don't know what the percentages are.
Lovely.
So so that would explain why we're getting some different notes than what you would expect from a 95.5 rye, maybe even lending with that malted rye, lending more maybe toward the bourbon, the sweeter characteristics possibly. I don't know.
So what are you picking up there, Captain?
I mean, I got like almost like a brown sugary type of sweetness off of it, because that's what I thought. You said nose like a bourbon. When I first smelled it, I get the sweetness, and I always say brown sugar, but because that's just when I think of something like a rich, deep sweet, brown sugar is the first thing that comes to mind. I don't know if molasses or something like that, maybe even, but kind of like a brown sugar sweetness. The rye has started to come out a little bit more of that spiciness. But yeah, I'm just really kind of surprised because I would have thought it was a bourbon. I mean, if I blinded this, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's a bourbon, just on the nose. So
I would have definitely thought that at first, but after it's aired out and we've swirled it a lot, I think it's really opened up into a nice rye.
I do think that people who go into this, like their first pour is like, oh, it's muted. There's not a lot there. It's very bourbony. Like this will be a bottle that really opens up as air gets to it. I'm not sure who they use for cooperage or what char. I assume it's char 4, probably Kelvin or Independent Save.
I think they use Kelvin.
But that would make sense for the color at a 4-year. But yeah, this is one that pour it in your glass, step away 10 minutes, come back, and I think that you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you saying that we got a neck pour on this one?
So, I mean, if you want to get into neck pours.
No, we're not going to get into neck pours. No, we're not going to cross that. Hey, let's talk about some awards, man, because it's been like award announcement of season, or at least the
neck tag season.
There have been articles coming out recently, talking about all the different things. One of them that we've had, well, you actually had, what did you bring? Did you bring, it wasn't the Buckner's 13. You had a 15, didn't you?
15.
Right. So was it the 13 though that won?
13 won
best bourbon
in the world for San Francisco.
San Francisco. Yeah. Recently, which is kind of crazy, but we had the 15, which was really.
Did we review the 15 last time?
I don't know. We reviewed it, but you brought it.
I did bring it, but I can't remember if we reviewed it.
I thought we tasted it. I don't remember we had it on the show.
I don't think we did it on the show,
but we tasted it.
Yeah. Most of that, I know we tasted it, but I can't remember if we reviewed it or not.
I don't remember us doing it on the show.
Tasting it.
Matt's the one that keeps track of all that.
You might not have. I busted out the end.
Okay. I might have been.
Okay.
Might have been gone by then.
It was one of those where it's like, hey, Matt's gone. Get the good stuff.
That's right. Get the 128 proof 15-year out.
It's like, hey, guess what? Stacy's not here tonight. Everybody bring the good stuff. Right?
Yeah. And then Philip brings Longbranch.
Yeah. Hey, no, I've never had it before.
Yeah,
so
but I haven't either. So I was like,
no, I mean, hey, $30.
I don't blame you, man. I think that was a good call, man.
No, I like that. I want to start swinging by a liquor store before I come here, because usually it's like, what do I have at home? I don't need to buy more whiskey, but I like that tactic of I need something. Yeah. What's on sale?
I'll
start bringing.
That's what we need to do the next crew episode. Is what's on sale episode.
There you go.
What's on sale at the liquor store?
At the local liquor store. So Buckner's 13 won the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, won their best bourbon in the world recently.
Just to interject, like if no one's had that, like those barrels are finite, so there's not a lot of them, and like what's on the market is on the market. So if you see it and you're interested, I would buy it. I know people get hyped up about best bourbon in the world. Like Taylor Single Barrel won it like 3 or 4 years ago, and then that disappeared. McKenna and all these things, but Augusta stuff, like seriously, the 13 and 15, now they have an 8-year, and it's phenomenal. So if you're interested in any of those, the 13 and 15 will be gone for like 4 more years. There will not be any more on the market distributed for like 4 years so they can age.
And that's source product?
It is source product.
And they're out of Augusta. They're
yeah, so they're based out of Augusta, Kentucky, which is about 20 miles west of Maysville, where I'm from. And they welcome me very much. they invited me up, and it was a great time. So they've got a Bottle Your Own, which had 3 different mash bills of other product, and they've got stuff contracting, and they will have a still. They will be distilling, but go there, talk to Billy, talk to Matt, talk to their team. The Bottle Your Own experience is awesome. But if you want the super aged stuff, the double digits, get it now. I know that the 8 years hitting some retail stores, but it's wild. I've never seen a brand come out with like that kind of stock with such low numbers in product, and then just kind of like balloon.
Yeah. And I know they had some 13-year-old at Liquor Barn today because I'd looked.
Liquor Barn is like one of the only stores who did a 13-year pick.
Yeah,
so,
it's a 13-year pick. It's $209, and I was like,
yeah. They have at Hamburg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go buy my way home.
They had them today. They had them. I was up there when I had my delicious chicken sandwich.
I'll swing by there on my way home.
They had bottles on the shelf up front. Yeah, they had several.
Shit.
Yeah,
and didn't know that.
So I was like, yeah, I just I'm saving up for bourbon release season. Man,
so I never get anything during bourbon release season, and Master's Keep Voyage is out, and I will not see that. And it's $300 retail, so I don't know how I feel about that. But I'd rather spend $200 on a 13-year single barrel store pick from a great distillery.
Sure. Well, and I think I saw somebody had posted on secondary today that a bottle of the Frankfurt, the Hardin Creek Frankfurt. So I don't know. I guess that must have been released today or this week.
That's been hitting stores for like the last 2 weeks now. But it's
okay.
But I stopped doing my Jim Beam box because it got too expensive. But 17-year. I'm very excited for that one. But the retail on that is
I got the Claremont. It was $169. From the distillery.
For the 17-year at the distillery. I feel like I've seen retail like at stores people posting like $239.
It was $169 because my friends were down there and they were like, they texted me a picture and I'm like, if there's any way, there were 4 of them. I was like, please, one of you have the common decency to use your one person only per bottle, to
Mark's friends get me one
to buy me a bottle. So they got me the bottle of the Claremont, the 17-year-old. So, and I do have that upstairs. We can taste that a little bit later.
Not to get off the awards thing, but so these brands, like the new Wild Turkey, I think, isn't it a 10-year?
Yeah, 10-year aged in Appleton Estate rum barrels.
I just have a hard time.
Yeah,
with 10 years, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be $300." Yeah,
I just think that's.
I feel like the
300s.
I feel like the limited release bottles are just kind of getting
300's the new 50.
I mean, I can't say anything. I spent like the very first Instagram live you and I did was like, I think it was like one of the very first reviews I did for the Bourbon Life. Which I've not done for like 2.5 months.
That's all right. You've been busy, man,
I have been busy. That's why. Was that 1894 Wild Turkey? And it retailed in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
For $275. But yeah, that's the most I've paid for one. But now that the retail's $300, like.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see if that Frankfurt, if they've got it at the distillery now, I'm assuming they must. If it's out, if somebody's got it, I would assume, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same price as what the Claremont was.
Well, if you go up there, or if anyone goes up there and they want to reach out to me, I'll give you $200. I'll give you $200 for a bottle.
There you go.
It makes like $13.
Yeah.
We're all happy.
So, other awards that have come out, the International Whisky Competition. I've got it pulled up right here, which is I was a guest judge.
Were you a guest judge on that, Mark?
I was a guest judge.
Hey, if you want to go back and listen to the last crew episode, you can hear Mark talk all about his experience.
Man.
Nice.
It was a fun experience. It was really cool. That's right. Thank you. As a newly minted master of bourbon, one of the judges runs the International Whisky Competition and invited me and 2 of the masters of Scotch to join him and several other guests in Bardstown, or judges in Bardstown. So the results were just released. George C. Stagg, man, best American whiskey, all categories.
Is it the 2022? 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
I guess 2023. Yeah. Shut up, Matt.
Yeah, 22. And believe it or not, the Stagg, which was the Stagg Junior, but Stagg actually came in second place. And then Stranahan's Sherry Cask was the third place best American whiskey overall.
All right, so I'm gonna throw this out there, and let's talk about that breakdown of the 3.
All right.
2022 GTS is really damn good.
Yeah.
I've not had any Stagg Juniors from 2022, And Stranahan's winning third place. Like, there's nothing against Stranahan's because, I mean, they have like 10-year-old MGP for 86 proof on the shelf for like $40, which is a really good deal. But a sherry finished single malt, right?
Yeah.
At third place,
Whiskey.
behind Stag,
Yeah.
GTS, and Stag Junior. That's a pretty big deal for the single malt movement.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. You know, the thing is, like I said, two of the judges, the guest judges, like, you know, I was a master of bourbon.
Right.
They are masters of Scotch. A lot of the people on the judging panel were or are big in the Scotch industry. So they are Scotchy Scotch, you know? So I think something that would be...
But the American single malt category drinks nothing like
It
Scotchy
doesn't.
I know,
Scotch.
but you're talking about a single malt that's sherry cask finish. So I think...
I mean, that
I think
checks all
if
the
anything,
boxes.
I'm
that
thinking it checks
leans
boxes.
more towards bourbon, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe.
I
don't
think that brings in like more of those dark bourbony flavors and less of that cereal grain.
I don't know, man. Balvenie 15-year single cask sherry finish is like my favorite Scotch of all time.
So that's, you know,
I
that's the
think
thing.
all Scotch drinkers are frauds and they really just like bourbon.
Oh, Sebastian, any of you guys out there listening, man, that wasn't me. So, but yeah, so the best bourbons, George T. Stagg was the best bourbon because obviously it was the best whiskey. It got 94.4 points out of 100. Stagg was actually the second best bourbon. And then actually William LaRue Weller finished third in the best bourbon category, which surprised me because, and I don't know, because everything's blind, right? So we're tasting these things and I'm, you know, doing my judging, and it was my first competition. So I'm just trying to rate the best that I can. So I can't tell you, yes, that was Stagg. Yes, that was Weller. But there were noticeable differences in other bourbons that we tasted. So
I guess the moral of this story is the hype is real and Buffalo Trace is the champion.
there you go.
They know what they're doing.
So what are some of the other ones? Like go down the list and maybe like
who's like 19th?
List some surprises.
This list only has, well, there weren't a lot of surprises, and I'm sorry. Okay, best small batch bourbon whiskey. Best small batch, first place, 1792 small batch. Second place,
Hey, you know what? I love me some cinnamon. I mean, it's like vanilla and clove. You know?
Second place, Good Trouble bourbon. Third place, Jefferson's Very Small Batch. Believe it or not.
Okay, I like Jefferson, but good
I've never
Trouble.
heard of that.
I've never I had not either.
Good Trouble. If you're listening, please send the Bourbon Life a media package that includes a sample of your bourbon.
There you go. Best American blended whiskey. First place, Five Trail cask finish.
Oh, that's the Coors.
That's the Coors. Go Molson Coors family.
Yeah, right.
So second,
hey, their stuff's really good.
second place, Five Trail barrel proof.
Okay.
Wow.
And then third
Rocky
place,
Mountain Water.
Third place on that. Third place, Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series 10. Got that.
Oh, so they put Disco 10 in that. Disco 10's good.
It is, but
It's
those
very
two,
good.
those two Five Trails actually beat that in the best American blended.
And they do all their blending at Bardstown. That's funny.
Isn't that something? So, best single barrel bourbon, Maker's Mark Private Select from Mustangs. I'm not sure who that was. Paul Sutton bourbon.
Paul Sutton. Hey, Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
I think maybe Western. But Kentucky.
But Kentucky. And Elmer T. Lee single barrel was third. So. Yeah. So the best American single malts, Stranahan's Sherry Cask was number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Stranahan's Mountain Angel, number 2. And then Brother Justice, American single malt, cold peated whiskey.
When you need a good straight American single malt, you need
Peated,
Brother
so
Justice.
Yeah, which I think, you know,
They're placed to your Scotch.
my Scotch,
buddies.
the Scotch drinkers were like, "Ooh, God, there's peating this," you know. So yeah, so we didn't know what the categories were. It was just like, okay, new category, and we may taste 30, we may taste 40, we may taste 20. Had no idea. It was just new category. So, you know, we get into these categories, and we're just tasting and just going through this checklist and writing our notes down and writing down our numbers and rating them. Yeah. So it was a fun experience, but yeah, George T. Stagg, man.
Do they have a rye whiskey category on there?
Actually, I don't.
They probably just threw that in American whiskey.
I think it was
with all the finished stuff.
I think it's just, yeah, I think it just got lumped into.
That's sad. That, you know, I mean, not to shit on single malts, but single malts gets their own, but rye whiskey is the original American whiskey.
Yeah. Maybe they'll work on that. Hey, Sebastian, if you're listening.
Yeah.
You know,
You've only done it for 14 years,
I
man.
will judge that category. if
Matt
you need
will be the
Sebastian.
judge.
Hey, Sebastian, I'm looking
All right.
at you, man. I'll take
That's
a
it.
lot of those lists, it seems like most everything's barrel strength.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was.
Which, like, and when you told us before that they just bring it out, you don't. I think they're
Yeah,
kind
no
of. I
clue.
think it's kind of. It's not really fair to the person that enters a bottle that's 90 proof, and they're coming up behind a George T. Stagg at 122 proof.
Yeah.
It's going to taste watered
Well,
down.
okay, so that to play devil's advocate there, pick the right damn category you want to enter in. So I mean, if you're gonna go into like,
but every category you listed except the 1792 small batch, they were. It sounded like all of them were barrel strength.
I think
one.
it seemed like they were. So I think they were. Yeah. So, but you know,
I mean, hey, you gotta play the cards.
it's not perfect, right? So,
So-
guys, let's talk.
Well, hey, to quote the Ruck, in the last the last session we did, he did say, "I know he tasted some BTAC. I know there was some BTAC in there."
see, I was right, man.
You were.
I knew there
I'm
was.
proud of you.
I just didn't know for sure which ones were which. But hey, we did them, and George T. Stagg comes out on top. Guys, let's talk about the palate and finish on this Old Pepper Bottled in Bond Rye. Chadwick.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it. So as it has set in the glass, I've got this like dark chocolate covered peppermint note. Maybe not peppermint, maybe just like a spearminty note. Does not drink like a 4-year. It hits more of like 6, 7, 8. It's got a lot of dark tones to it. A lot of brown butter, oak, char, tobacco. Get those earthy floral rye notes they're very low toned. They kind of are subdued. They hit you late in the finish. But I think this is phenomenal. This is, what's the retail?
I think $50 is what I think.
The best $50 rye on the market right now.
All right, that's big words, man. Philip, what do you think, man?
I pretty much second what Chad said. It's good. I mean, this is really good.
Matt, you're looking like I don't want to answer.
No,
Okay.
I will happily answer
Okay.
this one. First off, good Lord, is this oily?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like completely feels like you're drinking soup. It's just like got this oily, fatty covering coating on the mouth, and it's I think Chad, your note of like the chocolate covered mint and like peppermint patty.
Peppermint patty.
Yeah, it kind of
Definitely.
has like it's got that bite from the mint, but there's a sweetness and like this cocoa type flavor. Then for me, a lot of those mint and those herbs that I really love. There's like some chive, there's some lemon balm. The mint comes through, but then punches with the pepper. I get peppercorns. I get that spice on it as well, and nice.
Would you guess this was 100 proof blind?
No.
I would say like 108 to 112.
I was going to say like 110, 115.
I was going to say probably 115, man.
It
has a nice bite to it that's not overpowering, but it like, we talked about it before, it kind of punches above its weight class, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt about it. Amir, if you're listening,
phenomenal.
yeah, man. Well, big fans on this one. So this is one we'll definitely keep. And thanks for sending this. Definitely appreciate it. Can't wait to try the bourbon now. Got that. So maybe I have to crack that out for another episode for sure. But Matt, I did that because I knew you were just such a big rye fan, and I know you love. Well, I know you love.
Is anybody else like? I know Matt loves rye, but like I know for me, I've gotten more. I mean, I still like bourbon, but
Yeah.
I've
I'm
started definitely trending towards rye.
Well, because of Matt, I definitely has. Matt turned me on to Knob Creek, years ago as well, because I just wasn't a big Knob Creek fan. And
It's
then,
funny. You never used to like Jim Beam, and then now you're like, I got the 17 years.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Knob Creek single barrels were for a long time best value. Bourbon.
Listen,
I
let me tell you something. My old boss at Walmart, Morgan, Kentucky, Scott Napier, would be like, Chad, you need to buy this. I mean, we used to have Old Rip Van Winkle 10 year on the shelf, 44, 45 or 44.88 or something stupid. And I'm like, Scott, why would I get that 10 year for that whenever I can have this 9 year for like $29.99 and it's Knob Creek 9 year? And he's like, you don't understand. I did not.
you did not. But hey,
Knob Creek's never let me down.
that's exactly right,
Knob
man.
Creek's good.
But I agree with you, Philip. I'm becoming a bigger rye fan. There's no doubt about it. So, and there's some good ryes out there. This is case in point, man. For as young as it is, it does not drink like a young rye whiskey, and it's a great combination of flavors, man. So, all right, guys, let's take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Three Chords line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The three-chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they called Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the third and sadly final round of the Bourbon Life, or maybe happily for you guys, third round of the Bourbon Life podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me tonight here, live around the flights of the rectangular table, it's my good friends, Philip.
Woo!
Chad.
Hey.
And Mathieu.
Hey, what's up, Mark?
Mathieu Vanda Hughes. How are you doing down there?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm obviously watching the Tour de France this
You
week.
are watching the tour, yeah.
How do you watch that?
Are you serious?
It's like watching tennis or golf.
Oh, God, man. It is.
I could watch golf. I mean, I wish I play golf, but
No, you watch golf?
for about 10 minutes, I'd take a nap. But but I can actually sit there and appreciate what they're doing.
But Philip, I was the same way about cycling until I picked up cycling more.
Yeah.
And now I can understand watching
what
the
they're
tour.
going
See,
through.
that's the thing,
watching race,
Philip.
like-
We just don't care.
like until you've been in the throes and you're like telling your legs to shut up and stop screaming at you because they hurt so bad. But you have to keep
It's more of a
going.
depression thing. I look at that. I'm like, man, that guy is pedaling for like 900 miles, and I'm bitching about like I've been in the car for 45 minutes.
I do get it though. If the Olympics or whatever's on, I watch the track and field and all that. And my wife's like, "How do you watch this shit?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, track and field, usually it's short and it's fast and it's quick and it's exciting, right? The Tour de France, it's 4.5 hours of guys riding a bicycle. So, yeah, I mean, it's not exciting all the time, but there's so much strategy. There's teams. People, a lot of people don't understand it. It's team sport and teams work together. You have individuals that are great.
There's a lot of athleticism that go. I mean, like people don't just get on a bike and do it.
No,
no, there's a lot of building. Like it's for me. I don't watch it. It's more of a like. I don't want to say depression thing. It's more of a like, damn, like I wish I could do something like half as good as that. Like, but
In my
it's
opinion,
crazy.
too, nobody's punching each other in the face. Let them take all the steroids they want. If they're not physically assaulting each other, just let them take whatever they want.
Do what you want to do, man.
And then let's see how far the human body can actually push it.
So the crazy thing about those guys is, talking about athleticism, and this will be, I won't beat this dead horse, but I'm going to beat the dead horse a little bit. I think soccer players or football, whatever.
It's soccer. We're in America.
We're in America. Yeah. Soccer players and cyclists are two of the top athletes that are out there in any sport.
I got to disagree with that first one.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so I'm going to play. I will step in here to defend Mark as someone who played soccer for like 3 weeks before they canceled it for American football. I hate running.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freaking running in soccer. Not that there's not a lot in American football or other sports, but like the entire game's dependent on your legs.
Yeah.
Like everyone in America is like, what do you bench, bro? No, like in Europe and in Mexico, everywhere else it's dependent on leg strength. Which Matt, you like run 30 miles a day just for fun, so you should understand leg strength.
Yeah, but I used to run, cross country and stuff, and then like we always on our Thursday practices, we would always go play ultimate frisbee. Well, that's the same thing. It's constant running.
Sure.
It's not the same. Soccer. That's not the same kind of cardio as running in a race. That's not
All
the
right,
same.
man. That's just my personal opinion. But these cyclists these guys are like 6'1" and like 140 pounds.
Their calves are like 24 inches around.
They're like this big around, but their legs are like, it's crazy, insane. Anyway, guys, so welcome back though. Thanks for hanging around. I'm glad you guys are here talking about.
Check out the new podcast, Shit Talking About Sports.
That's right. We are available morning, noon, or night whenever it is you listen to your podcast.
Thank you. And we do have to thank all of our sponsors. Thank you guys, the few that we have left now. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. We appreciate
Hey, I heard
that.
Bud Light's looking to sponsor.
Oh,
some
yeah,
stuff.
that's what we need. The Bud Light sponsoring the Bourbon Life podcast. There we go. That's just what we need,
That's gonna
right?
get Cougar Bay to run for their money.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, hey, speaking of,
Hey,
I brought something to drink this
Matt,
final round.
tell us
What'd
what
you
you
bring?
brought,
I'm going to
man.
get everybody back on track.
Thank you, sir.
So I was down in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Where were you?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
All right.
And I happened to happen across a bottle I'd never seen before, brand I'd never heard of.
Where did you buy it at?
Liquor store.
The look on your face, you were like,
It had
you were
the little
scared.
light up rope lights
Yeah.
around the window. Yeah.
I'd never heard of it, never seen it before, but just looking at the label, it caught my eye. This is Silver Springs Sweet Rye. And some of the things that caught my eye with this, first off, were sweet rye. I'm kind of like, oh, okay, what is sweet rye? But then it lists the mash bill right on there as 65% rye, 15% corn, 20% malted barley. And now this is also a single barrel. So it's coming in at 108.9 proof.
Okay.
Don't know how old it is. Just know that.
So at least 4 years old.
It's got pretty color on it, right?
Yeah, color's great.
Yeah, nice dark color. Distilled in Kentucky. So this is a Kentucky rye. Not sure where it's from. I read an article that had conflicting opinions talking about where this could be from, but the author of the article eventually came to the conclusion that he didn't know.
Interesting.
So with kind of an interesting mash bill,
Yeah.
it leaves some room for
I just thought it was funny that Philip asked once he poured it, he's like, "Is this a bourbon or a rye?" Because I'm like, again, kind of running into that same issue we ran into earlier.
Well, it seems like looking at the bottle, is this a single barrel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't say.
It says 218.
Yeah, it doesn't say single barrel, but this is bottle 53 of 218, which makes me think, and they list the cask number right on there, though it doesn't explicitly say single barrel.
Turns out it's like a 12-barrel blend of 3 gallons per barrel.
Yeah, a bunch of 1 gallon barrels.
Yeah.
So anyway, we don't know for sure, but caught my eye. I figured, hey, I'm going to pick it up, bring it in. Let's see what the crew thinks, eh?
I got sweetness off. I get almost like a bubblegummy kind of sweetness, though.
Yeah.
Going back to my Topps baseball card thing, it's funny. It's like you get that
Bazooka Joe. That's what.
Yeah, man. It's like that bubblegum sweetness from when you're a kid. That's the first thing that really stood out to me. At first, it was like really sugary, and then it was like kind of became that bubblegummy flavor. I get some of the rye comes through, not a lot though. I'm not picking up like a lot of the mint. Like once that old pepper started opening up, started getting those types of notes. I'm not really picking that up on this one. But Philip, when I first sniffed it, I was like, "Is this a bourbon?"
Yeah.
I understand. So what do you get? I mean, what do you think?
I do get the bubble gum. The mint is there, but it's very light.
Okay.
If somebody poured this blonde, I'd just be like, that's a high rye bourbon.
Yeah. And the masters of bourbon, we're all about high rye bourbons. Matt, what about you, man? You're working it pretty hard down there.
See, I get some of the sweet notes. I get like nougat and raisins.
Okay.
It's got like a very savory nose on it. I don't get as much there's a little bit of like the white peppercorn or subtle spice to it. Maybe like a little bit of cardamom or some of the baking spices come across, but it's certainly not like a big, bright, bold rye nose. Almost, there's almost like a little brininess, almost like a mustardy type aroma, kind of like a vinegary type mustard aroma, which I think for me would track with a rye whiskey.
Okay. Silver Springs. That's What do you think, Chad?
So I enjoy it. I like weird. I like different.
You?
I know. So I too did. I did my research.
All right.
I'm a Google doctor now, but I did like 30 seconds of looking this up while Matt was talking before we started.
You're an expert now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. But I found two posts relating to this. I looked up the mash bill, and it is from Kentucky. So I found where that mash bill guesstimation is from. And Brown-Forman / Michter's rye mash bill is what it came up with, and both things. And I trust both people. Which is very weird because this does not remind me of like a Michter's barrel strength rye. But it is bubblegum forward on the nose. It is very like herbal, herbaceous, floral. And it's like you said vinegar. Like I could not figure out like what is that? It's like acidic, like, but what is it? You said vinegar, and like that hits. So
yeah, and like dill pickle.
Yeah.
Dill. Okay. Yeah.
Not
dill
just
pickle.
like
Like a dill pickle.
Not like your 95.5 dill.
Yeah.
Like it is like dill pickle. You get the vinegar of the dill. I mean, it's This is unique, but I'm confused by Sweet Rye. So
you're saying it's aged in used pickle barrels? Is that what we're?
I mean, it could be.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, maybe not. Okay, guys, let's talk about something else. What do you want to talk about? Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. We haven't talked about the news about Caleb Kilburn and Kentucky Peerless leaving and starting. What's it called?
yeah,
Eastern
Light,
something like that.
something like
somebody Google search
just outside of Moorhead Distillery.
Yeah, man. So Moorhead, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I had a customer at Total Wine when I like November, December timeframe and he's from that area and he knows Caleb's parents and he was like, oh no, like this.
Yeah, it's Eastern Light.
Eastern Light. Okay.
Eastern Light Distilling.
Eastern Light. And he was like, oh, I heard. And I'm like, oh, Independent Stave is building a place out there and they're doing like, Independent Stave is building a Cooperage out there and they're gonna have like 70, 80 jobs. And I'm like, yeah, I knew like ISC was moving out there. And he's like, no, I'm telling you, there's a distillery. And this guy's like, I talked to Caleb's parents and Caleb's dad told me it's Caleb from Peerless. And I'm like, I don't know.
Believe you. But
and son of a bitch, random guy who shopped at Total Wine, talked to me once a week was right.
Isn't that crazy?
It
I was
is.
kind of, when I saw that, I was like, wait, what?
Well, okay. So
Like 120 some million, right? Is that what the
so
big distillery?
I asked about that whenever I did my pick there for Total. I did our bourbon and rye because I hung out like after we did our pick, my bosses left and Louisville Bourbon Buzz and I were doing some content and Caleb was just kind of like, it's going to be a co-op. So, but they're, which makes sense. Their primary plan is going to be contracting.
Yeah. Okay.
And that kind of stuff. So like he wasn't telling me wrong, but he also wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, I'm leaving here.
Right.
So I thought it was going to be an extension of Peerless.
And it's him and
okay.
and who's the other guy?
They're like, it's like their
COO or
CFO.
CFO,
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So the two of them are leaving. $120 some million distillery. I don't know who's backing it.
That's
But-
kind of what I was wondering. If this was like I want to go back home and then,
Yeah.
because I think he's from that area where this is
I think
gonna
so,
be.
right?
Yeah.
He grew up on
So,
a dairy farm or something like
Yeah,
that.
he grew up
farm.
between at right outside Moorhead and like son of a bitch.
Flemingsburg or
No, that's the other direction.
Oh.
It's like Bath County or somewhere. I don't know.
Salyersville?
No,
That's down. I'm sorry. That's
no.
not-
I mean, that's
Like
Sayesville.
Is in that area.
What?
yeah,
What's,
Salyersville's down south. And-
What?
Yeah.
People are gonna hate this.
It doesn't matter, right?
Let's get real.
Anyway,
Most people
man.
from Eastern Kentucky aren't listening.
Yeah,
They're
well,
drinking.
Most people from
All right,
East
let's get
Kentucky
real.
are like it's Pikesville, Whitesburg.
Yeah.
People hate this show already.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Matt.
So yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. Like, is it Peerless that's backing it, and they're trying to get into the
Yeah.
to the source market, but it may not be.
It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like he's doing
That's
his
a
own
lot of
thing. Right?
money.
It's a ton of money, man. Whoever's putting that up to do that, and they're going to be contract distilling, like you said, right?
Yeah,
so it's
I mean,
not
I
going to
think
be.
the money will be there. The contract to say as many source brands as there are, and I mean, right now, what you got your big players, MGP, Bardstown Bourbon Company, are the
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
the two big ones.
Well, in Green River, right?
Well,
So-
yeah,
which is
Bardstown bought
Yeah,
them
that's
out.
true.
So yeah, I mean,
good point.
they're the two, and MGP and Bardstown are kind of going to be butting heads now because MGP owns what is it, Lux Row and
Yeah.
all
Luxco,
of that. So yeah,
Yellowstone.
so and I think there's another one. That's another source brand or a source distillery that's kind of it's Penny Ryle, I think, distilling or something, and that's all they're doing.
God bless you.
Yeah, and some of their guys have
Well,
came from.
there's another. I know there's another one that's coming from a couple of big whiskey guys, but I don't know that they've officially announced it yet. So I'm not going to.
What about the distillery from the two from Maker's Mark?
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be an actual distillery.
So
I don't-
yeah, that's going to be an actual distillery,
that's-
Washington County. So you're going to have Denny Potter and
Yeah, Jane
Jane Bowie. Willett is expanding out there. I don't
That's
know if
right.
it's public knowledge or not, but Denny told me.
somebody else. There's
There's three.
gonna be
Washington
three.
County is getting like 3 big expansions,
Yeah.
and damn it, who is the third one?
I don't.
We've talked about it.
It's not. Is it the Whiskey House? It's not those guys.
No.
Okay, then forget I said that.
Is that something you're not supposed to talk about?
We're not talking about it.
Please
Anyway,
tell us more.
there's stuff going on. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I was really surprised to see that announcement because it was just kind of crazy. But for people that are out there looking for sourced product, I mean, you can't unless, I guess unless you're distilling with Bardstown Bourbon, I guess it's hard to buy their stuff, right? I mean, MGP, I guess you can't really buy much of anything.
I think probably MGP and Bardstown, both the backlogs of trying to get barrels from them is probably, I mean, if you're coming in now, you're probably.
I mean, you got to commit, $1,000 a barrel, 500 barrels. So you're looking at $500,000.
Yeah. I mean, you got to come in with some money.
Yeah. So
and what Bardstown's looking for people that are wanting to do everything there.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean,
still barrel.
Yeah, they
house,
don't
bottle labeled.
They cut 30% of their contracts last year. So like people who weren't buying enough, bottling there. So I mean, it's one thing to be like, hey, I'm buying from you, or if you're storing here, it's like no. They're like, if you're not providing us with a profit, if we can't make money off of you, then they cut their contract.
So a smart move then from Caleb potentially because there's a need, obviously, right? I mean, people need barrels, right?
People need barrels.
And Caleb wasn't, I mean, it's not his brand.
Right.
He's the master distiller. He doesn't own it. He doesn't probably have any ownership interest, I would assume, in Peerless.
I mean, he was just like the guy. I mean,
he was their master distiller.
Yeah, I mean, he was there from day one, just like digging trenches. So.
Right. So he can move on and do this. This will be his thing to some extent. I'm assuming some level of ownership to make this jump to do it. But then he's going to be distilling barrels that people are just going to instantly be like, oh my God, it's Caleb Kilburn from Peerless. It's got to be good stuff. Give me 1,000 barrels now, at $1,000 or whatever.
I mean, and that's the thing. So like, if you go to Bardstown Bourbon Company, and I mean, like, I don't know if it's public knowledge, but it is like
it is now.
You do have to.
It's about to be, right?
Yeah. So I mean, if you call them and talk to them, they'll probably tell you. But you got to have a commitment, and it's like 500 barrels. But I mean, you're looking at 500,000 in barrels from them. But I mean, like, that's their business. Like, they're there to provide you with new make,
right?
Glass, labels, everything else. Easily $750,000. By the time you get and pay your distributors, whatever, you're looking at $1 million in loss before you ever make anything.
Yeah, before you.
And that's all with new make. So you're not even putting anything on the market.
And that's and you're still. I mean,
4 years from. I mean,
if you want to do a 4 year,
and then you're paying taxes on the barrel storage.
You're $3 a barrel per month or whatever.
Everything else.
But I mean, it's crazy. So like, the contracting / sourcing game is a smart way to go. So I mean, if they're gonna actually hit that allotment they say they're gonna hit for contracting, that's a lot of money. I mean, like, if they come in and even undercut like Bardstown or MGP / Luxco or Heaven Hill, if you can get a contract with Heaven Hill, and they're like, we'll give you $700 a year, and you're versus $1,000. I mean, and you're saving $300 a year. That's crazy. Like, I mean, it's.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt, man. So curious to see how that works out. So guys, let's jump back over to the Silver Springs. I couldn't even remember the name of it.
Silver Fox, Mark Rucker over
Silver Fox. That's right. Thank you. All right. So what do you guys think? Philip, what do you think, man? Oh, you're taking a drink. Matt, what do you think? You brought this one. You tell us what you get, palate and finish. What do you think?
To me, it drinks similar to a Michter's barrel strength.
Okay.
I think it's got a sweetness. It's got some mint right on the front of the palate. The peppercorn and the rye spices really start to punch through on the palate with this. I think everything that I wasn't getting from the rye on the nose shines through in the palate. Little bit of heat there at 108 point something proof. So drinks up in there. Not the longest finish. I would like a little bit more. Maybe down the back end.
That's what she said.
But not wrong.
They were talking about the pickle, the vinegar on the. I actually get that dill pickle on the palate.
Do you?
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty prevalent, really, for me. I do agree with what Matt said, but now that you all brought up the pickle, and that's all I can taste now.
Bring in the pickle. All right, Chad, what about you, man?
So yeah, twofold. It kind of reminds me of like Michter's, because I know they do their specialty like chill filtering / secret filter process, but also like Old Forester barrel strength rye, just not at that proof point. Like, I get the dill, the earth, like floral, perfumey. There's like a lavender, like honeysuckle. It's very herbal for me. But then you get these like brown butter, and like heavy notes that kind of like it's some oil to it. And I'm not really sure. Like I like the nose. I like the palate. The finish falls flat and it kind of takes a weird turn. Like you take a sip and like, oh, you're getting char, lavender, like all these great notes. And then it kind of takes a turn and it just like cuts off. And it's not, I'm not sure that it's like my favorite finish in the world compared to like the James E. Pepper. But what'd you pay for this?
I'm going to guess I didn't pay more than
$650.
Yeah, thereabout. I'm gonna guess probably $49.99.
Okay, yeah, $50. I pay that. I mean, because we're talking, $80 or $89.99 Old Forester barrel strength. $109.99 for Michter's barrel strength, and this kind of like reminds me of both of those, but like those both go their own direction. This kind of sits in the middle. It's the weird cousin at the family reunion you don't talk to very much. But well worth $50. Like,
I kind of agree with Chad. I think it leans more towards the Old Forester flavor profile, but which that makes sense if it's rumored to be a Brown Foreman.
It's weird. I almost get like a little bit of a leather hint on the palate on this one. Kind of strange that I picked that up. But I like it.
It's unique, but it's definitely good.
Yeah. $50.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, about all day.
Well done, Matt.
Probably the closest thing that reminds me to is Spirits of French Lick, the Solomon Scott Rye. That's kind of what that reminds me of. Yeah.
Very, very nice. Well, guys, believe it or not, we're at the end of round 3. We're at the end of the podcast. I know we're all sad about that, as our listeners are as well. We know you are.
They're like, here's an hour and 20 minutes. We'll never get back.
Yes, exactly right.
That's why they're sad.
Yes.
They appreciate all of our hot takes. So.
They should, man. Like you said, I think I'm just going to put the whole thing out.
There you go.
Everything out. No edits, no nothing, man. Just the whole damn show.
And they should appreciate your wardrobe, Philip.
I mean,
if
like
the show flops, at least the
wardrobe is.
There you go. Look at classy tonight.
There you go. Yeah. Looking good, man. I like it.
One of us does.
You can find this at a Walmart near you.
$377 on clearance.
It was $2.
No, you should be releasing your own clothing line.
I need to. I know.
There you go.
Yeah. I do have a few T-shirts and hoodies. If you go to my Instagram page, click on the link.
Yeah.
The Bourbon Hunting KY.
Good
shirts and hoodies. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you make them with your Cricut?
Absolutely not. I do it through Teespring. I will not touch or handle your products. You pay, they ship it directly to you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good
I don't
deal.
do anything. So,
yeah. I need to get into that.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of. Anyway, long story short, I won't even go there. Matt, let's get some final thoughts, man. What do you think?
So good to be back with the crew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
always lovely to sit around the table, have no agenda. My favorite part of these episodes is when you look out and you just see like this melee of bottles and glasses and just this absolute mess in the middle of the table of just
stuff
of whatever. So.
I agree. You know what? And I'm going to do what Chad just did. I'm going to rotate the camera so people can see.
There's moonshine.
There.
Blanton's Gold.
There's just stuff randomly on the table there. So there you go.
Yeah, that's why these episodes are always fun to just go off script and be super informal. So thanks all.
Awesome, man. Philip, what about you, man?
It was a pleasure being here again tonight and some great pours. I really enjoy this. It's always fun and I look forward to coming back.
Well, maybe. Are you gonna make it? You gonna make it, man? Are you sure? You're all right.
Hey, real quick. Are you gonna find us the cinnamon honey Hooters whiskey?
I'm gonna look for it, but it was the hot honey. Is
hot
that?
Honey.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna look for it.
All right.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna look for it.
All right, Chad. Final thoughts, man. What do you got?
I've had a great time tonight. It's been a while since I could just like sit down, relax with people, and hang out, drink. A lot of great whiskey. Thank you, Philip, Mark, and Matt. I didn't bring anything we reviewed, but
You brought a bottle to share, though, which is
cool. That's what it's about. But I'm just happy it's a good time. Like I feel like life's good. We're minus Stacy, so we're still doing good. But
we're doing better, probably.
We're certainly not as attractive.
Well,
no, we're 5% listener grade. Up, viewership down. So but especially with the swimsuit.
With the swimsuit, I was going to say, if we all had the swimsuit.
But I've had a great time. Thank you, Matt, for bringing that. Philip, Mark. It's like, honestly, every time I come here, I'm just like happy to be around friends.
Awesome. Well, I feel the same way, man. Matt and I talked about this last episode. It's like we get to that point in the day, you're just like, even I'm on staycation, but I'm like, man, I'm just tired.
Yeah,
it's
for real.
I've got to do a podcast tonight. And then like you start doing it and you're like, fuck, this is awesome, man. You just have a great time. I just said a bad word, didn't I? Man.
You did. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm going to have to put the explicit warning now on the.
I think you have to say it multiple times.
Do you? Okay. Then I
think PG-13 is 1.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm good. So, but no, I mean, it's fun. We just start doing it. We start drinking, start having a good time, and we just start talking about whatever, And it's hanging out with friends. And that's what bourbon to me and rye. I mean, it's what whiskey's all about. It's
experiences, man.
Just hanging out, having a good time, having conversation, and the opportunity to share. I mean, that's what this really is. Yes, it's a podcast, but this is just 4 friends hanging out and talking.
Stacey, it could have been 5, but you suck.
And recording it, and people listening to it, and hopefully enjoying it. I mean, that's why we do what we do, and I'm just appreciative. I appreciate you guys being flexible this week. Obviously,
I mean, it honestly, when you called yesterday and you're like, "Hey, man, can we do tomorrow?" And I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time, and well, she's still my girlfriend, but I was on the phone with my girlfriend.
At the time.
24 hours later.
Very bad wording.
Now that he's here, she's no longer his girlfriend.
And I was like,
punctuation's a bitch.
She's got a crack, baby. She's got a crack, baby.
Oh man.
But I was like, hey, Mark wants me to come over tomorrow to do a podcast, and she was like, all right. And I was like, yes, because she knows like I look forward to this. Like every month, it's like this is what I want to do. It's my one night out with friends, so
awesome.
It's and my wife is actually coming.
She was mad.
I was getting ready to walk in the door. She was like, "I thought you were leaving." She's like, "I was ready to get you out of the house." So she's happy tonight. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate you showing up and being here. It's a lot of fun always. Thanks for bringing the stuff to drink.
And I'm just going to interject real quick and say to our sponsors, thank you all so much for helping us to do this. We wouldn't be able to do it without your support. And and I think I speak for everybody here, we are all so appreciative of all the backing and everything you've done for us to allow us to get to do this and to bring the production quality that we have, all because Mark is so insistent upon making sure that we've got great equipment and making sure that we can provide a good podcast on a good platform and making sure it reaches people. And so that when we spout out your name and your ad goes off, it's not on, listen to the first recording we ever did on our podcast. Just be glad that it doesn't still sound like that. So we honestly just feel so fortunate to have you all behind us, and thank you all so much. I won't sit here and
that's
advertising any longer, but thank you all.
I appreciate you saying that, Matt. I appreciate the compliment for my equipment. That's very nice of you to do that as well. So
that's a PG-13 rating right there.
That is not what she said. But anyway, Mark, close us out here.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for being here, and like I said, and thanks to all of our listeners. Like Matt says, whatever time of day it is you're listening to us, we just appreciate you taking the time to do it. We do appreciate all of our sponsors. Again, as Matt said, thank you guys for everything. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can join our private Facebook group, The Bourbon Lifers. We have a lot of fun conversations in there, so please feel free to join us. You can email us at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined, please leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. With that said, I'm going to wrap it up, send us something with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full, and may you keep on living the bourbon life. Keep the violin.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the bourbon life.